In the world of politics, the voices and perspective of women are essential for a truly inclusive and representative democracy. However, despite progress in some regions, women's participation in politics remains a challenge in many countries, including Nigeria and the case study of its capital territory, FCT Abuja. With special attentions to women's participation in politics within the Federal Capital Territory (FCT), the population of women in Nigeria's capital, Abuja, is estimated to be 1,484,198, representing 48% of the total 3,067,457 actual population spread across the 6 area councils in the FCT, namely Buhari, Kwali, Abaji, Amak, Kuje, and Gwagwalada.
It's only at the Senate that we have one woman representing FCT. And I'm aware that the last dispensation, we had another woman as a councillor representing, I think, Buhari Area Council. But by the time the next election, she didn't get a ticket to, go back. So the percentage of women in FCT is very, very low.
In the previous FCT area council elections, 14 political parties had 478 candidates competing for various political positions. Specifically, 55 candidates vied for chairperson and vice chairperson's roles across the 6 area councils, with only 9% of them being women. Likewise, out of the 55 running mates, only 15% were women. In the election for councillorship across 62 wards, 363 candidates ran, but only 14% were women. Unfortunately, despite their effort, none of the female candidates were successful in securing positions.
I saw 4 challenges from the first time I started running, but I was not deterred. The issue of financial constraints, party structure, because this same party structure are the ones that impose on women high number of financial expectations. Before every meeting, you have to share money. And even in these meetings, we also have women. And you cannot even still almost blame them because they'll tell you, coming to your meeting venue, they will not use their own private money. Lack of finances. We also have the lack of voters' education, and then stereotypes, which are also drawn from cultural biases. In FCT, there was violence during some primary elections. And so when you see issues like this, some women get deterred. They cannot even afford high budget security, financial funds to even cater for their security. Some of my challenges were access to the media. I had to struggle to gather funds. The conventional media isn't giving you the opportunity, a level playground for all elections, because you shouldn't just be airing just presidential elections. All elections, the FCT elections was 2022, we didn't have lots of coverage.
Culture, religion, tradition plays a great role in making sure that the right leaders don't emerge.
Honestly, I can't tell you that there is a particular culture or tradition in our community that hinders women from participating in politics. Honestly, it's the men that have hindered them.
And the major problem is also that there is no legislation supporting women's political participation.
Forms are expensive. It is part of the cause why women have not been fully participating in politics.
Because our leadership is a kind of leadership that is with a touch of, a love, a touch of peace, harmony, and less corruption.
If we have more women, when I say more competent women, together with the men, what you will have is a balance in the system that brings the voice of the women, the voice of the men, the representation of what the family. Don't forget, what happens in the family, the small unit, is what determines what happens in the larger society. So when you have a balance of voices on the table and they can represent the different interests, And when we are discussing policy or we are discussing implementing laws, there is a balance. When you have the balanced voices on the table, you have better laws, you have better policies, you have better implementation of policies, you have better understanding of what the people suffer at the grassroots level, you have better understanding of what the insensitivity of those who, why those who seem to have an insensitive to the stratifications within society.
Women would have had trust in their abilities. They would have beautiful trust because it would have been more women, not few women.
Once there's any problem that will affect women, that will affect children, that will affect any kind of vulnerable group, persons with disabilities, everyone, we understand those issues better.
There needs to be more unity amongst the women gender and the youth.
We need affirmative action. Affirmative action will help more women get on board. We need affirmative action within the party executive. We need affirmative action in elections.
Anybody who wants to make sure that affirmative action is achieved must be able to, first of all, support women who engage in the political process. When you engage in the political process, thereafter, then you can say there's a gap. We have done our best to engage the process, and we have been shortchanged by this process. And as much as we want merit, it is still important that there's equity.
For the president himself to send an executive bill to the National Assembly. It's for the National Assembly to pass the 5 gender laws, especially the one that we requested for extra seats for women.
It is only through legislation that you can get the 35% affirmative passed and then even executed.